Hello viewers, welcome to our program Pioneers Vijayaniki Chirunama. మన సుమన్ రెడ్డి గారు మేనేజింగ్ డైరెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ పెగా సిస్టమ్స్ ఇండియా ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్లో ఈరోజు మనకి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నారు. సో వెల్కమ్ టు అవర్ షో సార్. Used to know, like how to understand the Pega systems India, the kind of programs what you have and how it has entered India, like what are the expansion plans for Pega systems in India?
Sure. So Pega has just completed our 10th anniversary in India, Andy. We came here about in 2007 to establish our R&D center. Primary reason for coming here is to augment our world-class R&D center that we had in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in Boston. And we said we want to rebuild another one of equal capacity so that మేము కొత్త products ఏవైతే develop చేసామో 10 years back had gotten wide acceptance across the market, and therefore we realized in order for us to continue to keep the company growing, we had to make investment in R&D. So therefore, after looking at all of the different cities, we chose Hyderabad as a primary center to do another R&D center. Now, when I fast forward this to now 10 years, I mean, what started out with a small sort of idea where we wanted to add another 100 people to double it, we've come a long way. Today, we are a 1,500 people organization between Hyderabad and Bangalore. Hyderabad represents about 1,100. Bangalore achesi oka 400 members. We are doing pretty much a lion's share of our R&D for the entire organization out of these two centers. Most companies who have established in India, I think they say it, back office work చేస్తారు, లేకపోతే unimportant work చేస్తారు, low cost work చేస్తారు అంటారు. The difference with Pega Systems is we are one of the advanced in the stage of our operations where lot of our worldwide innovation, ఈ కొత్త innovation ఏవైతే వస్తున్నాయో, మా customers తీసుకుంటే all global 3,000 companies. These are the biggest companies in the world. ఏవైతే innovation మేమైతే roll out చేస్తున్నామో that these companies are using is all developed, conceptualized from these centers. So that makes it very, very unique from that perspective that we are one of those organizations who have leapfrogged this whole innovation part and have achieved great success in terms of how we established. Now, in terms of future ga తీసుకుంటే, the last couple of years we were pivoted our business model while we were focused on selling into Fortune 500 only. Only about last year we decided we will expand globally into global 3,000 companies. Therefore, India, Asia have now become very relevant as a markets that we can sell our technology into. So very recently we have announced, in fact a few days ago, that we are going to be selling in India for all of the large companies in India who have a turnover of more than $2 billion, primarily in banking, financial services, insurance, telecom, manufacturing. The state governments and the central government who are taking on big digital initiatives are potential customers who can really get benefited out of using our patented technology that's used by all the leading companies in the world and many, federal developed countries, governments in the world. So as part of that, we have recently made an announcement as well, a very transformation initiative by the government of Andhra Pradesh under the leadership of, the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu Garu, who has this vision of creating a citizen services for the entire population of Andhra Pradesh through a platform called ePragati. And the special aspect of this project is to really provide the kind of digital transformation so that he wants the ability to measure the citizens' happiness index through 75 different key performance indicators. He wants to create lots of transparency in the governance. He wants the ability for people to see how things are moving. He wants minimal interactions for the citizens, because if the government is rendering all the services as expected, citizens will never have to interact with the government. So his objective is to make it very easy on the citizens of the state. He wants to use technology to go to from any department, from Panchayat Raj to agriculture.
What's next for this Pega system company in India? And after the ePragati contract win, how you are going to plan step by step for the sales support?
It's a good question. I think, I think e-Pragati is a landmark project in every angle, every aspect. మీరు యాక్చువల్గా ప్రపంచం మొత్తం చూస్తే నాట్ జస్ట్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ప్రపంచం మొత్తంలో చూస్తే కూడా ఇలాంటి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ టేకెన్ అప్ బై గవర్నమెంట్ can be found anywhere, because if you think about the scale at which they are doing it for 50 million population is fairly unprecedented in terms of the transformation that's taken up. I think this is a unique opportunity for all of the other state governments to take a look at this. Not just because it's, Pega is driving this, but I think, somebody has taken up this ambitious initiative and now is in the cusp of fulfilling that initiative. So I believe that, in India, across the world, across Asia, many governments will look at this as a model implementation. And I think that will provide us an opportunity also to start selling into other state governments as well. I'm not going to limit our opportunities to just the state governments, because the governments are obviously the beneficiaries when they leverage the platform for digitization. But our primary customer base వచ్చేసి వరల్డ్లో కూడా తీసుకుంటే the top 10 banks of the world, all of the major credit card companies of the world, all of the major insurance companies of the world, all the big telecom players in the world are all our customers using our CRM software to service their end customer.
I would like to know our viewers like to know the recent developments in the Pega Systems plans, what has been executed in India, and what could be the next 10 years hold for this kind of strategy plans what you have.
I think 10 years is a long time for any company to plan in today's days. I think I think organization strategies are now changing in months and sometimes even in weeks with all the advent of new technologies and so on and so forth. But in terms of new advancements, I think we have added a number of capabilities to our technology over the years. The recent couple of years has been to strengthen our whole digital process automation software and the CRM software which is used by the global 3,000 companies. We've added obviously a big AI part of it for the last few years, where we call it as a decision hub, which sits right in the core of our CRM. So any decision that gets made by our CRM platform is supervised in a central way by an AI engine that exactly knows your customer data and suggests a next best action on matter. So that's another big investment that we have made. Robotic process automation is something that, again, we have acquired a company called OpenSpan, who's a leader in this space, and now have completely integrated that robotics process automation into our own technology. So AI investments, robotic process automation are the new investments that we have made, and I think all of our future time that we spend is going to be to ensure that customers can really make use of these technologies and get benefited out of it. The other plan that we have added in terms of future is called what we call as a University Accelerator Program. Something very unique that nobody has attempted so far, or at least at this scale nobody seems to have attempted in the country. What we have realized is that with the whole AI and automation and potential for job loss, for low-level jobs and so on and so forth, we've realized that it is not just about finding educating skills for existing employees, but the college grads who are graduating should develop that upfront as they get into the job stream.
Is Pega Systems coming up with completely to be proved as a SaaS company?
Well, I think company is obviously does provide SaaS as a service, software as a service. We also are obviously our software is also available on cloud, and we also do on premise. Any company today have to have a SaaS solution. Any company today has to work on a cloud. Cloud is also an irreversible trend. Cloud is where everybody is going to move eventually. Having said that, we still work with many large financial institutions, governments, some healthcare companies who are still sensitive to moving things onto cloud or using software as a service. For all of those organizations globally, we still work on-premise as much as we work on cloud. But one of the unique things about Pega that I think only we provide is what we call as the cloud choice. Dini ardham entante cloud choice. Most of our competitors tell you, I only have a SaaS solution and you should use a SaaS solution, or I have an on-prem solution, that's the only thing that you should use. Pega is the only software in the world today in our space where we provide the choice for the customer to start on-premise and be able to seamlessly move to cloud. And within cloud also, we don't lock you into one kind of a cloud. There is Amazon Web Services, there is Google Cloud, there is Microsoft Azure. Most companies tell you, you should pick one. Whereas Pega tells you that you don't have to pick anything, because when those cloud infrastructure costs are reducing, you should be able to take advantage of it. Therefore, we can dynamically move you from one cloud to another cloud seamless way, and that's called a cloud choice. That's another big differentiator as well.
Okay. Coming back to the major event which is going to happen in Hyderabad, the WCIT, and Pega Systems is how it is moving extremely with a high speed. How are you planning to participate, and what kind of recognition after the GS Summit WCIT holds for the World Congress on the Information Technology?
Well, it's a very unique conference that's coming to India for the first time, World Congress Information Technology. And the interesting thing is NASSCOM Leadership Forum, which happens in Bombay every year for the last 20 years. It's a flagship event that happens in Bombay. They have also moved that event out of Bombay to bring it to Hyderabad and combine this with WCIT to host as a large event. So we are very excited that an event of a global repute is not just come to India, but it's coming to Hyderabad, I think our own city. It's shaping up really well. I think there's going to be about 2,500 people in attendance. It is attracting global speakers from all over the world, Fortune 500 company speakers, many government representatives in terms of ministers. There's a lot of academia in terms of Harvard and Stanford representation. Then there is adequate Indian CEOs representation in addition to the startups who are going to be there. I think, as from a Pega perspective, we're playing a very active role in this. Personally, the founder of Pega Systems, who is coming down from the US and is going to be one of the keynote speakers on the stage. Personally, I am also involved with the core committee of NASSCOM in helping organizing this event in Hyderabad. Therefore, I've been actively involved in it for the last few months in terms of creation of content, agenda, speakers, and so on and so forth. So personally, I'm very excited because I put in a lot of hard work in shaping up this event, and I believe this is going to be an extremely one of the very top events that we have ever hosted in this country. The caliber of this event, the kind of speakers, the content, the learnings that's going to come out of here is going to be of very highest quality. So I think as a Hyderabadi, and we should be very proud that we are hosting an international conference of this repute that's going to happen in Hyderabad.
Looking at the cities like you have Mumbai and Bangalore, who are again huge exporters of software, and Hyderabad is being chosen for WCIT. It's really a very big, definitely moment for Hyderabad, no doubt. As an Hyderabadi, we all feel proud on that. So, how it has been possible for Hyderabad to clinch this WCIT?
I think the big credit has to be given, my opinion, to the Telangana government on this. The Telangana government, led by the IT Minister, Mr. KTR Garu, and Jayesh Ranjan Garu, the IT Secretary, have worked very closely with the NASSCOM leadership in Bombay, whether it's Mr. C.P. Gurnani, Mr. Mohan Reddy Garu, who's a flag bearer of our IT industry in Hyderabad. I think they have worked very closely together to really make a compelling case. I think when the whole bidding process happened, a lot of global cities and countries have participated in this. But I think the compelling case that this team has put together, in addition to the money deposit that the Telangana government was able to assure, has helped us clinch that event for India. And then Hyderabad became obviously the host city for two reasons. One is Telangana government is also sort of hosting this, but also because HICC in terms of our venue is still the best venue in the country to hold a conference of this scale. So I think that also came to our advantage.
Is Pega proving to be the real CRM mammoth or alternative to Salesforce by skipping the hype and delivering the real result?
I think Pega is always known to be the company who skips the hype cycles forever. I think we've been a 35-year-old company and we reinvented ourselves several times to stay current and stay at the top of the food chain. So if you look at all of the analyst reports, whether in the digital process automation, the case management, mobile, analytics, AI, and CRM, we are rated by the industry analysts as the leaders in that space. So when it comes to CRM as well, I think we have a very differentiated product. While our competitor like Salesforce gives you 3 different products. If you take CRM for sales, CRM for service, CRM for marketing, while they have 3 different products, and they have AI working in a silo with each of those particular products, we have a unified CRM approach. We provide one combined platform built on our platform that what we call as a digital process automation platform, with artificial AI sitting right in the middle of the entire CRM. So therefore, we believe this product allows companies to essentially understand their customers' journey a lot more better than the siloed versions that other competitors give. So therefore, I think we believe that we have a differentiated product. As I mentioned earlier, we are also only the technology that provides the cloud choice. You can go seamlessly from different cloud vendors, but also from going from private cloud to public cloud, and also to on-premise seamlessly. When you combine all of these capabilities, we believe our offering is the best in the marketplace, and we don't worry about the hype cycles much.
Can you throw light on the CRM and BPM in today's growth in all the sectors?
Sure. So, business process management, as it pertains to our country, India, I believe there is a tremendous opportunity. In fact, the space is now called as digital process automation by the analysts. But if you think about whether it's in the government sector, as I described the e-Pragati opportunity, if you think about the digital automation that they are trying to do for 50 million residents of that particular state across 33 departments, where it's supported by 800 different applications, just imagine the impact, right, that it could do by replacing that and creating the new framework. And when you apply to a country like India, whether it's in the state governments, whether it's in the central government, when you take about different sectors of our country, our banking sector is one of the oldest and is relied typically on the lot of legacy systems which have been built over decades now. And a lot of times, people have built their own custom code. So when you think about all of this, and if you want to modernize this in such a quick span, given the whole I call it, the trinity, the proliferation of trinity of, the Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile, the citizens' expectations have gone up now. I think people expect a lot more of digital services from every facet of our life, whether I'm interacting with my bank or an insurance company or a cell phone provider or a manufacturer or my government. I want to be able to create services which I'm used to through my phone, through my internet, and so on and so forth. So I believe there is a rapid, digital transformation that needs to happen, and therefore India has a huge potential for, BPM, in my opinion. So these intelligent systems, use structured and unstructured data and apply artificial intelligence to understand what needs to be delivered to this particular customer. And therefore they become very intelligent in being able to deliver, so that a person, when they pick up the call, the system will guide them the next best action, right? So this is a new age, CRM systems that I think the world over needs it, and more importantly, our country needs it. And therefore we believe having these two offerings gives us a unique value proposition to dominate the market that we are going after, which is really the global 3,000 organizations.
What is the India Center contributing towards the Pega delivery the whole worldwide?
Look, I think, India, I think, is an integral part of our, company strategy. I think, when we made a decision 10 years ago to open up a center here, we knew very clearly we are not coming here for some cost arbitrage. The low-cost center pettesi, double saving kosam raledu. Our very reason of coming here was, it was very clear in the founder's mind that we want to attract the best of the talent this country has to produce, right? So that is the reason why we came here. And if you think about the journey that we've taken in 10 years, we've gone from one person or three people that we came from the US to where we are today, 1,500 people and growing, right? And we also represent a third of our entire global workforce. And our workforce is about 4,000 plus. A third of the organization is right here in this country. So that tells you that, we play a major role in terms of what we contribute to the company and what we produce here.
Does Pega play a role in government sector globally?
Yes, so we have a very strong presence, Andy. Mundu nunchi kuda for many decades, it's not new. Many governments across the world are our customers. In fact, the United States government and many state governments in the United States also uses our product to provide citizen services. Alage, we worked with the Australian government, we worked with the Singapore government. I believe we have some relationship with the UK government. We have doing one of the largest projects in America called Census. So every 10 years, America does what they call as census. Ante, prati oka citizen, there are 300 plus million citizens in America. Every 10 years they do, 2010 lo in the last one, 2020 census lo guda, people will go to every citizen household and do a survey on that citizen, in terms of their, age, in terms of their wages, company they're working for, and with their certain details. The objective, the reason why government does is they're able to provide better delivery of their subsidies or whatever government policies are. They ensure that through this survey, it reaches the end citizen in the correct way. That entire project is now being done on Pega platform. one of the very prestigious, biggest implementations in the US from a government perspective. So I think, yeah, I think our rich experience of working with other developed governments, right, in other countries, gives us an advantage as we enter the Indian market, which is why I think, ePragati has chosen us, because we have proven expertise of doing it for one of the larger and emerging or emerged or developed countries. So therefore, doing it within India, I think, gives us that advantage.
Big technology companies and enterprises are getting the cloud strategy right?
I think that's a very broad question. I think that question could be applicable depending on certain sector, certain companies. But in general, I think there was a belief by industry that companies have moved rather slowly towards cloud due to several concerns. I think not everything was related to really taking in the technology and harnessing the new capabilities, but also because of a lot of other worries such as security concerns, regulatory concerns, data privacy issues. So all of them have become very important to be considered as the companies made this big shift. I think in terms of the infrastructure shift, you can call it a tectonic shift, because I think going from systems that were built and developed and maintained by your own IT staff to putting them in common clusters in some data centers managed by third-party services is a big change for many companies. So I think therefore you see some companies, the new age companies like the internet companies, which have a little bit easier in terms of dealing with some of these regulatory concerns, have moved much quickly. I think they made the transition very rapidly. But when you think about traditional businesses, brick and mortar business like the banks, like the healthcare companies, have taken their time for very obvious reasons, because they can quickly move there because they have a lot of legacy systems that they need to support. Just by moving some new age systems on the cloud doesn't mean that I can integrate my data with all of the existing stuff. So there have been practical challenges, which is where Pega, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, with our platform, we have been working with many companies in the Fortune 500 segment to help them accelerate their move towards that cloud. And we have seen great results in many verticals, even in terms of even in banking and insurance and other sectors. We can say that several of our customers have made this transition as quickly as possible. I mean, remarkable progress they've made. So I think it's selective. Some companies have done it, but some companies, in my opinion, have stayed behind.
When is the deadline to be completed and to be delivered full-fledgedly, so that the Andhra Pradesh government can start executing for the welfare of the citizens of that particular state?
Key company who is delivering this services is Ernst & Young. So while Pega provides the software, the implementation partner is Ernst & Young. I think they would be the right persons to answer this question. But I can tell you that the reason why the government of Andhra Pradesh, the CM Chandrababu Naidu Garu, favored, after going through a very stringent evaluation process where we were made to do a technical evaluation, we were made to do 48 hours of non-stop hackathons with competitive technologies and come out on the top, and therefore he chose us. One of the criteria he put in this selection process is they have to be reusable architecture, meaning you should be able to use it always. Second, it needs to be quick, no code ante the software should not have any lower level coding. The software should be configurable and the software should generate its own code. So those were the second feature. Third is time to market, meaning how quick is it to develop something, right? Which is the one which takes the lowest amount of time. So he applied some of these filters to ensure that they choose the technology which will allow the government to develop this at a rapid pace. So I fully know, I fully believe that this is going to be one of the fastest implementation the country has seen. I have no doubts in expressing that. So I think I wish the team very quick success. Hopefully by mid-year we should be able to show a lot of new projects and new applications. Is my hope.
Very importantly, మా స్టూడెంట్ ప్రేక్షకులకి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ స్టేట్లో ఉన్న ఎవరైతే సిటిజన్స్ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరికీ పెగా సిస్టమ్స్ పిక్చర్లోకి వచ్చిన తర్వాత, ఈ కాంట్రాక్ట్ విన్ అయిన తర్వాత ఇది ఒక మేజర్ ఇనిషియేట్ అవ్వబోతుంది మన ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ గవర్నమెంట్ నుంచి. సో దీనివల్ల కామన్ మ్యాన్కి ఎటువంటి కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యూచరిస్టిక్ సర్వీసెస్ అందబోతున్నాయి, ఒకసారి మా ప్రేక్షకులకు చెప్తారా?
షూర్. సో ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పినట్టు ఈ ప్రగతి అనే ఈ ఇనిషియేటివ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ చాలా ఫ్యూచరిస్టిక్ ఇనిషియేటివ్ అండి. దీని objective ఏంటంటే to minimize the interaction with the citizens through the government. The government, as they describe, usually most governments are called black box, right? Because you cannot see what's going on inside. They want to make it a glass box. They want citizens to see everything that is going on within the government and make it very transparent. Two, they want to deliver services very quickly. Whether you're applying for a driver's license, whether you're dealing with a road transport authority, whether you're applying for a permit, or you're applying for a building permission, or every 33 departments that they have, any service that you go to for that department, either you walk into a government office, or you go to the online portal, or you walk through a mobile phone, in any form or fashion that you want to interact with the departments, they're going to create an entirely new digital quick experience that you're used to with your iPhones and the Google. So that's another revolutionary thing that's going to happen. Third is, I think, in terms of having data that would provide intelligence in terms of how government is providing services, government will be able to provide real-time governance. And if they see like there is an issue that's happening in a certain part of the state, they can quickly understand through this metrics and analytics and be able to send help or whatever is required in a real-time basis. Fourth, in terms of being able to understand the citizen problems, they will be able to measure citizen happiness index. So therefore, in terms of there are about 60 or 70 key performance indicators that the CM Garu are trying to create. Therefore, it gives them the ability to understand which area they're lacking, and therefore they'll be able to provide a quicker services. But lastly, I think the citizens of Andhra Pradesh should embrace all of these new changes coming in, because the whole point of doing this is to essentially the other advantage of doing this is, besides getting them quicker services, there is a new technology and platform that's going to be coming into the Andhra Pradesh through Pega systems.
Thank you so very much, sir. We had a great informative session with you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.